Princess Slate House. I want you to feel, we're going to have a little joygasm together. Explain what that means. Thank you. Let's open up your arms like this. Let's open up your heart. Let's open up your energy. Thank you guys. You're fabulous. You don't want to move your arms, just imagine them moving your arms. That's it. What we're going to do, I want you to think of some really nice experiences. Let's talk about bring that up to your body. That's it. Move your hands again and just imagine these. Have some orgasm. Perhaps you went for a lovely walk along the streets that you had a bit of fun and that you feel good. Yeah, that's right. I want you to move your body like you're feeling good. Have a little movement. Show me. A little bit of twinkling. A little bit of moving. Okay, twinkle someone next to you. Wait for someone next to you. That's it. Twinkle down. Come on, guys. This is service. You're all employed now. We're spreading the love all around St. Leonard's. Harry, this is the place. To be honest with you, you're in my heart. I know you might not believe it because I just called you some letters. Tim, do you want to show me the timer? No, and the music tonight. So, give me all the love people that help me going. I love you. Oh, Tim, you're a diamond. He's sexy, isn't he? I am, my heart is here with you. It really is.
Where are we?
What's your name? What's your name? Are you going to tell me your name? Peter.
St. Leonard's loves you too.
Thank you so much. Eastbourne, I love you. I did come for a romantic weekend here in December. It was fabulous. But I also love you especially because I've been wooing a certain woman that's here tonight. And she is actually the queen of flirting. She's the most famous flirt coach in Britain, and she brought it to Britain, even though we're talking about an ancient feminine art and masculine, but of course I'm going to encourage in a feminine way. I'm in that kind of body. At least tonight, you know. You can tell me your tricks later. But and Peter, do you mind standing up just 1 second so you can wave at people? This is Peter Heskell. And I've been wanting to come to Eastbourne and meet Peter because she literally is the star of flirting, and I followed in her trail. And this lovely, very handsome Tim. With my voice. It's the voice, isn't it? It's the voice. And that's really what we're going to talk about tonight, is 93% of communication is body language, slow it down, tone, lower your voice, and pace, talk slowly. That's right, which Tim does, isn't it? Tim, you create this flirtatious atmosphere. And my God, getting Sophie to woo me with Turkish delight before I came on was your mouth opening your body, because mine is. Are you feeling? I mean, I didn't have to do joygasms with you, did I? You've been lushing. Are you luscious? Are you? I am. Can't be just me. I am not the only one who ate one of those Turkish delights from Iran, am I? Was it just me? Whoa, did that do something? So we're talking here tonight about sensuality, that's right. Tasting, smelling, touching, feeling. And not just that, I do believe we're talking about service. That's right. Oh, I'm so loving you guys. Do you know, Tim told me, he said, look, Kate, because I went to St. Leonard's, it was enormous. Excuse me, St. Leonard's, it was enormous. I thought, oh my God, and everybody was a Radio 4 speaker, including the KP lights. And I thought, oh, how am I going to do this? Do they know they're going to get wooed and flirted with? And then Tim said, look, Kate, please come again. Not that you weren't all lovely, St. Leonard's, because Eastbourne is cosy. Eastbourne is a date night. And I thought, okay, Tim, as long as I can bring Peter along, who you must get to speak, then I'm on, because I can have a date with Peter and get to be with you all in a cosy way. And you do feel cosy. You feel lovely to me. So thank you very much, guys. But yeah, this is about service. This is about integration, because as they've discovered at Brigden Young University, they looked at older people, and then they looked at them and they studied them, and they studied what kept people living. Helpful information. It wasn't the food and the diet, although I'm sure you're all health freaks. It wasn't the exercise, although I'm sure that's very helpful too. It was two factors. Close connection, that means someone who'll bring you soup when you're ill, or go to hospital when you're very ill. It's very essential, as probably you'll know. And the second one was social integration. I did study sociology. I'm going to get exciting with you, but it's very important. And what does that mean? Saying hello to the post person, the cafe person. Me. Say hello to me. That's right, the speaker in the room. The warmth, the spreading the love. If you feel you're part of community, and of course, this is what's always happened, doesn't it? That's what small communities ideally have, except if you live in Hebden Bridge, it's so small that people do this thing called aisle hopping. What's aisle hopping, I hear you say? It means it's so tiny that sometimes when you want to get bread, you hide. So you don't bump into people. But I'm sure that's not an easy one. I'm sure that actually you're nobody's aisle hopping. You just want to say hello to everyone. So this is what keeps your life longer. And so when you open your heart, you don't just open your heart and say, hi, Simone, Jenny, Peter, Lucy, Zephyr. I'm doing quite well, aren't I? You don't just open your heart. You are spreading love. You are a heartbeat. You're a walking heartbeat. And you're spreading love around the universe. And you're not just doing that. When we flirt, when we connect, when we say, hi, Tim. See, that's enough, isn't it? Hi, Tim. You can just go around and say, hi, what's your name? And then, hi, here's your name. Hello is a good enough starting point. It really is. People say, oh, there are other things. Is there anyone you're not? Tim, I got all flummoxed. Just bit of vulnerability, right? Bit of vulnerability always helps. Tim, is there anyone in your life who would mind me flirting with you?
I love you flirting with you.
Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Or if you're in a supermarket, Tim, have you seen these vegetables?
Melons.
Do you know?
So are they organic? Are they organic?
Oh, I think they
are.
might be. Do you have any ideas, Tim, about cooking these vegetables?
I could.
Oh, Tim, thank you. Tim, do you have an email?
I've got a mobile.
Oh, wow. Do you mind if I ring you and find out how to cook these vegetables?
I'd love you to call me.
Oh my God! Would you possibly be free for dinner as well with the vegetables?
Are we cooking the vegetables?
Could do. What I'm trying to say is, there's any moment there's a chance. Everyone has a moment. Everyone has a chance. Every single person has people staring at them. And what I'm trying to say is, if you get off that iPhone, iKindle, iThing, and that, what's the I business? What's going on with this?
That's for you.
Thank you. If you get off those things, I'm sure you are off those things. You live by the sea. But just in case you're in a book or an iThing, get off them. Start looking. All these people have been longing for you. Longingly. Like I was longing at Sophie. Wasn't she passionate? She was so amazing. When you get off those things and you look, smile. And what's your name?
Richard, I was the one who just wheezed.
Take that. It sounds interesting, Richard. Anything? Do something? Thank you, Richard. Yeah, so because what happens is, it ain't the most attractive people who get laid. It's the ones sending the signals, Richard. What are the signals? Smiling, looking, connecting, saying hello. Look around the room, guys. Smile at some people. Go on, be brave, be bold, he's called. Have a little look. Go on, quickly, have a little look around this room and wave at a couple of people. See what they do. They might be warm, it's Eastbourne. This is the centre of romance. Thank you, guys. What's your name? You were brilliant, yes. Neil. Thank you, Neil. I saw that. It was fabulous. You see, instant love in the air. Oxytocin arrival. That's right. And your parasympathetic nervous system's calming down, which means you could get aroused. That's right. We need that slowing down to get aroused. We can always rev up in a bit and have an orgasm, but first of all, and by the way, this is for everyone, whether you are intersex, some people aren't intersex. I'm talking about joy. I'm talking about service. I'm talking about let's love one another. Don't have to, of course. Some people might be anti-love. But just for tonight, go with me on this. Because the thing is that I know sometimes when you're single, or even if you're in a couple, you stop flirting. You stop saying hello. And often it's because people think, I'm single, tattooed to my forehead. And if I dared start saying hello to all and sundry, they get freaked out. They think I want something from them. And I might. But what I'm trying to say to you is, in the good old Mae West way, is that flirting is light. It's non-expectational. It's a gift. And as you probably know, the spiritual rule, which is what you give, you get back 1,000-fold. So as you give love, you get it back as you give love. So what you do is, don't worry about that attractive, desirable person that when you see them you run out of the room, down the stairs into another room, just in case they recognise that you fancy them. Don't worry about them. No. Flirt with everybody. Every person you come across, because it'll make it a lot easier to stay in the same room as that attractive person. And take a risk each time and a little step towards them, eventually being able to chat to them. Because as you become a master of flirting, it will all get easier and easier. And I tell you this because Kansas University discovered that most people cannot read flirting signals. Most people do have no clue at all that they're being flirted with or that anyone's flirting with them. So you have to up your flirting signals. You have to make it a lot louder, a lot bigger. Now, they did discover that men are slightly better at reading them. They did. Yeah, no, not you, Neil. Okay. Okay, Neil, we need to up... Can we all send a bit of flirting to Neil, please? So a bit of twinkle with the hands to Neil, please. Just so he understands. There we go. And what they thought was that men might be reading it better. This is heterosexual relationships. I want to include everyone, straight, bi, whatever gender or sex you are. I'm sure it's multicultural in Eastbourne. What we want to do is include everybody. But what they reckon is that in heterosexual relationships, that maybe women were making it slightly more obvious. And so men could read it because women were doing certain things that were showing flirting signals. But what I'm trying to say to you, Eastbourne, is everybody needs to up the flirting signals. And that it's really good for us. I was going to bring you a little story tonight, if you'd like. I have a friend in London, and she was a very, very flamboyant character, and she did lots of flamboyant things when she was young. And what happened was she drank a little bit too much and decided she dressed with turbans and jewels and flamboyant costumes, and what happened was she decided one day, I must give up the alcohol, I must give up all things, I must live a more straight life, do meditation, do lots of therapy, do lots of kind of workshops to make myself a better person. And she decided all the flamboyance should go, and now she must dress normally. And so she did. She got rid of all her clothes and dressed whatever normal was, dressed like that. And at 70, she felt depressed. Because she felt like, oh my goodness, I think life's over, isn't it? I mean, I'm just not feeling it. She went to America for a conference, and on another self-help thing, thinking, I'm going to make myself feel better. And at this conference, she came out of the door, and a young 25-year-old surfer said to her, "How about it?" She said, "What?" He said, "How about it?" She said, What? "You and me. How about it?" She said, "I could be your granny." He went, "You got great skin." And they slipped off into a little room, and they had a great connection. They had a great time. And she felt all her energy arrive back in her body. And they stayed in touch. It was the one time. She came back, she wore the flamboyant clothes, she put the jewellery on, she started painting again, writing poetry again, her life became alive. She's 90 now, she has a 45-year-old fiancé. And every day gets better. She's on Facebook, and she says how easy life gets as you get older, and she's still being taken out to lunch by lots of young men, which she enjoys famously, and she is walking art. So I suppose what my message is today is, if you feel like it, is how are you going to let your joygasms, your playgasms, open you up? What would you like to be? Are you walking art? Would you like to? Because the thing about it, yes, it's bold being art. Yes, it's bold being flirtatious. But if you look at it like you're the gift to the world, you are the divine being that we all need, then it's service, isn't it? It's service. Richard, you're just giving yourself to us. you're just being generous with yourself, and that's really what we need. Just like Tim with his voice. He's just giving his voice to us, and how much better does that make you feel? So I have some tips for you tonight, which is fun, release, and commitment. Preferably all at the same time, to help you get your rev on, get your buzz on, feeling radiant, feeling magnetic, and realising that you are irresistible. I'd like you to tell me, I'm irresistible. You are. That's it. A little bit louder. Let's go for it. Oh, you're so good. And again. I'm irresistible. And again. I'm irresistible. You feeling it? Feeling it? Real. Oh yes, there we go. Now, so fun, guys. If I was with you, well I am now, aren't I? I'd say, can we get your diary out? Can we look at how much fun is in your diary? And if you said to me, not much, Kate, I'd say, what fun can we get in your diary? Don't make fun hard work, guys, though. Be compassionate. I mean, you're probably having lots of fun. You live by the sea. What's not to love? But for those of you who might not be having as much fun as you like, what I'd like to suggest is you add fun in. Because if you're single, when you're having fun, you relax, you become present. You stop looking for the one. But when you're in a couple, you stop going, we haven't had sex for 6 years. We haven't had a couple for 5 years. What's going on with you? You go, hi, darling, I've just enjoyed swimming with dolphins. And my trampolining lesson was just amazing. Rollerblading, oh my God. Tray, do you know what tray is? Shaking your whole body out. You understand what I'm saying? So fun is very important. Even if one person in a couple does it, oh yes, let that ship rise. But if you're single, everything can happen. Because what happens is, your cells in your body when you have fun start to open like the joygasms. Thank you, Richard. Like the joygasms. It's a sensual thing. You know, when we're frozen, you know, when we're not really flirting, when we're freezing off, anyone know what I mean? When we're feeling like, oh no, I can't do this, your cells shrink and you feel fearful. And when you're having fun, you suddenly open up your cells, fill them with golden lights, and become the divine transmission. I know. Did you know that you were coming today to talk about the new paradigm? Shifting into love. which is flirting. Did you know that? Did you know that this is a mission we're all on, to love each other back in? I think we did. I think we're built for love. This is the other thing. People say, well, if I suddenly went home to my partner and went, hello, Poppet, hello, sweetie, they think I'd have a character transplant. No, they wouldn't. Because we all are built for connection. We believe that we should be treated warmly and lovingly. Honestly, we do. And so what I'm saying is when you're having fun, we get back into that place. But fun can take a bit of practice. If you haven't had fun for a while, take baby steps. Sit in a cafe, get a fun diary, start to keep lists. I've got a little list. I'm thinking about infrared saunas at the moment. That's right. And Ciroc, and loads of different things. So you can start to keep little lists. You don't even have to start today. It might be a month's time, but you start keeping little lists of what you're going to do to have fun. So fun gets you in the zone. But what's also important is release. What is release? I hear you say.
What's release?
Thank you. You just did that, didn't you? To get me going with the voice. Thank you. I needed it. It's helpful. Because this is collaborative, isn't it? This is like, get an email from Tim. Honestly, it does you good. Don't mind me advertising for Tim. Email Tim. Email Tim. Yeah, voicemail too. Be with Tim. Just hang around Tim. So release is write a list of all the heartbreaks you've ever had and find the gold in them. Because you probably know lead and gold are made molecularly from the same stuff. That's why we have that myth about turning lead into gold. And so when we're carrying heartbreak, what happens is our heart's full of all these resentments, disappointments, and difficulties that happen. And it's a bit like a washing machine full of the old clothes and we never take them out. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no room for the new love. Or if you're in a partnership and your partner's annoyed you for so long, right? And you can't forgive them. It's a bit hard to see them as a new being, isn't it? It's you again. So what I'm saying is if you start to write a list of all the heartbreaks and you find the gold, how do you find the gold? You start to find a way to say thank you. You showed me how I don't want to be treated, or thank you. I'm so grateful I knew you, or thank you. I learnt so much from you. Now, sometimes that's tough. Someone died and you feel like they shouldn't have died and that really shouldn't have happened. Sometimes we need some extra help. Or I was in disastrous relationships, so I never want to go near a relationship again. Or I never want to live with someone. Sometimes we need help. You don't have to live with someone, by the way. The lady I was telling earlier, they live in, I think he lives by the sea, she lives in London, and they meet up for lovely dates. Make your choices about how you want your life to be. So, but when you turn the resentment into gold, what happens? It becomes a treasure in your heart. And so instead of saying, I never want to meet anyone ever again, you have the chance to say, I don't want to meet someone like that again, but my new choice is to meet someone who's more on my track, because we create in contrast. What does that mean? Is when we often don't necessarily know exactly what we want. We often don't know exactly where we're going. As Steve Jobs said, we often know how the story ends by looking behind. We look through the past, and he liked calligraphy, which is why we have fonts on computers. He liked calligraphy when he was a teenager. So we often don't know, but how we find out is we create in contrast. So if you are prepared to look at the difficult things or the good things as gold, what happens is you can say, I don't want that boundary. And it helps you to start saying, because I do want that. I want to be treated well, I want to be created, I want a really good experience. So release is very important, otherwise we might have a million suitors turning up. And we will say, no, you're all right. I don't want you. You are going to break my heart. Because handsome men with beautiful voices, they do terrible things. They have 8 women on the go. Which of course, Tim, is not the truth, I'm sure. I'm sure you only want one woman at a time. A girl with a delicate heart, she doesn't know that. That's what I'm saying. You see, we have to let ourselves meet someone gently, step by step. The third point is commitment. Because many of us would love everything to turn up with a pot of gold, lots of money, jobs, success, love, whatever you want. Preferably in a contract. maybe written in blood, that said it's all going to work out perfectly with no effort at all. Sit back and think of England and anyone like that? No, don't have to worry about it. No, don't have to commit, don't have to do anything, don't have to say hi. But of course, as you know, it doesn't work like that. It's the process of taking those risks, of stepping out there, of saying hello and waving. Neil. Listening to Tim's voice. Having a joygasm. Opening yourself up to rejection, which might happen. But knowing they'll save that smile for later. Don't worry, they just weren't warmed up like you are. Just smiling anyway, giving the smiles, loving the people. That changes us. That grows us into the person. You think I was born like this? Well, I probably was. No, along the way, guys, I lost my confidence. I wore black up to here and down to there, and I didn't own a single dress for a while. Yes. So I was scared of being approached. Why? Because of lots of different things, and I thought, things could be scary. Thank you. That was a good sound effect. But what can happen is that if you're willing, you can allow yourself to be that vulnerable, to be that open. And how you do that is ground yourself in your belly. What I want you to do right now is breathe into your belly, soften your tongue all the way back. That's it, that's lovely. All at the back of your tongue, soften your eyeballs. Think of something happy in your heart. Sparkle it out. Shine. Take up a lot more room in the room. That's right. Sparkle it up, sparkle it sideways. I'm going to click my fingers. I want you to imagine you all taking up loads more room in the room and that you are the most amazing person in the room. That's right. I'm preparing you for later, Richard. I'm sure you're already there. And I want you to just imagine a little rose in the front, open the rose in the front, and imagine a rose in the back, because, Neil, we need to receive. Sometimes we're just giving, aren't we? And we need to open that up and receive. And just imagine that you are a diamond of love light, spreading the love. And what I'm trying to say to you is that when you do this, you are planning and preparing for your good. So you see, because everybody will get opportunities. And some people will see those opportunities and go, oh, I've got a lovely opportunity today. I met a gorgeous bloke. I said, did you get his number? Oh, no. I was hoping I might get it next time I see him. Oh, really? Yes.
I've got Tim's number if you want it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. What's your name?
Jim.
Jim. Thank you, Jim. You see? Tim? Yeah, thank you. So, what I'm trying to say to you is everyone gets chances. Are you prepared for them? So, in sex therapy, what we say to couples who are not having sex, if you plan it Tuesday, it'll happen Saturday. So, I say it. Because as you know, great lovers flirt every day, all the time, because they're warming up that parasympathetic nervous system. They're getting the juices flowing. They're getting the vulva engorged. That's right, because they know that women need a lot of wooing. And I think men do too, Richard. I really do. I think we all need wooing. So what I'm trying to say to you, if you prepare for your good's going to happen. And Eastbourne, romantic weekends, here we come. Thank you.
Just lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, follow that, Tim.
Well, I'm very warmed up. Very, very warmed up indeed. So I've got some cards here. Right, that was fabulous. Thank you very much, Cate. What a lovely, lovely lovely, lovely thing. No, Kate, stay, because people will have questions, I'm sure, for Kate. That's. I think you broke everything down so beautifully, and I love it. How you the kind of disengagement that we've had over the past sort of, I don't know, since Jobs took control, although he's not with us. But it was a wonderful thing he did. But the iPhone technology and the digital world has introduced a degree of disconnect, isn't it? And things like this hopefully sort of will change that. And
Yes.
wonderful Kate, with your wonderful way, does show us that it is all about connection, isn't it? What you said, it's all about connection. We strive for other things, but it is connection keeps us alive and keeps us loving. So, does anybody have any loving questions for Kate? You don't have to get personal. You could talk about questions for your friends. I have a friend. Well, I'm single actually, but anyway. Drop that in. Yes. So.
Kate, do you think that iPhones and social media and stuff does damage people's relationships? And if you have couples that come to you that have these problems, what do you advise them about that?
Very good stuff. Yeah, well, I mean, they've done a lot of studies. You can Google it. They've done a lot of studies to show the whole thing with Facebook, what it does with dopamine. You know that they actually created it to be addictive. So all those likes and all that stuff, and so couples often, and I do see couples, and they're spending all night on the phone or the tablet or all different items. And so I teach something called bridging, and. I'm teaching it in Brighton, if anybody fancies. Once a month on a Friday afternoon I teach this deep listening method, and it reminds people of how it was when they first met, which when you first meet you can't get enough of looking at each other and connecting with each other, and it's a little while later you go back to your normal life and in the modern era back onto all these objects that and they forget that they're not looking to each other, and they don't realise that's part of why difficulties happen. Because if you're shouting, "Oh, can you do this?" from one room to another room, and both of you are on objects, huge amounts of disagreements can happen because you're actually not sorting things out in a way where your brains can cope with it. So what happens in couples is that miscommunications happen, and both of them can get stressed, and so you get all these stress hormones that rush through their body, and then they don't hear each other, and things aren't going right. So yes, it's a big deal. It's a big deal in this modern era. So yeah.
It's a lack of presence, isn't it?
Yeah, lack of presence. That's right. Connecting. Slowing down.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any other questions? Yes, Jim.
You're saying 90+% or whatever of flirting is body language. What about online dating, like OkCupid, Match.com? How does that translate?
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Obviously, that's where we've moved to in the modern era, is that we do it through internet dating, and that's very useful. I work with people, so a huge amount of people I work with have met through internet dating. It's very, very useful. But I have recommendations, as I'm sure many coaches would, which is that you don't stay communicating online for very long. You meet as soon as you can. You meet just for an hour and a quarter. You meet lots of people initially. You don't just focus on one person. So you do it in a kind of boundaried way. So I have lots of recommendations around that, because I think I've met people that can do a whole relationship on those things, even think that they've got together with someone and split up on an internet dating app. So I feel, get off just writing about connecting. People open up too much before they've met, and then they find they've got nothing in common. So I think we're in this era. It's a great gift, and it's how do we balance the great gift so that it's more in life.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, they're wonderful things. They keep us all connected.
Yes.
We come out and do stuff like this because we know about it. And so they are wonderful, but obviously there's a balance, isn't there?
How do we use both? Exactly.
You got me so warmed up, Kate, that I've taken my top off. Did you notice that? Literally overheating with love. Any more final questions for Kate before we take the final break? And
Talking on the social media side of things, it's just worth social media becomes an obsession with smartphones. And this is just a bit of information. In the Netherlands, because people, particularly young people, are looking at their phones so much when they're walking, and now thinking of actually transferring the level of the pelicans or the pelican crossings onto strips of colour on the pavement because they're not looking up at the
Wow. Wow.
It's getting that bad. The other thing was, very quickly, is that in a purely positive sense of what you were talking about, is it something that you would consider that people should really sort of try and step out of their comfort zone?
Yes,
doing,
yes.
Doing things like
Yes.
we're talking about.
Yes, someone else I know, names will not be mentioned, someone else I know, I've been trying to persuade them for a long time to get dancing, go do things. She's 74, and she's been trying to save the NHS, which is marvellous and important, but I said, you know, what about your joy? Because actually, although she was being active about lots of things, which is very important, she was also not feeling, she was feeling like, oh, I'm on my way to dying, even though, you know, she had lots of vitality, and it's taken me ages to persuade her. Now, she's doing Ciroc, she's doing hypnotherapy, where she says to the hypnotherapist, I want what she wants from her life, and she's imagining a partner and sailing and travelling, and she's just putting this into her sessions. She's doing another session which is about manifesting your dreams. She's doing a body thing where, so she's getting her body touched, and she is just at the beginning of this, but at 74 she's like, I feel like I'm alive for the first time in my life, because she's the first time in her life she's actually got the time and the space to do all these things, but she's choosing them. And somehow, but she did do, by the way, just to say, she did do a little while back a process of letting go of resentments and forgiveness, because she couldn't quite get there. She was kind of still stuck in, I've got to save the world and I've, you know, hassle everyone to save the NHS, and that's important. She couldn't quite get into, she was on her bandwagon too much, and she couldn't quite get into, I'm going to put joy in my diary, and she did all this stuff to let go of resentments.
Me time.
That's me time, and she's doing it, and she said she feels so excited. She said, I feel so alive, and I suppose that's what I feel like, if people could, if we could all help each other to do that, then we'll all be these lovely little sparks in the world, and yeah.
Well, people hide behind their causes, they
Yes.
hide behind their families or their children.
Great point.
They hide behind their jobs to keep from revealing who they really are.
Yes, yes.
And then they lose out on their joy as a
Really
as a
good point.
result.
It's scary to be vulnerable, and yet once you get used to it, it's free. It's nice, but sometimes we need collaboration. Well, I think we always do, but I think we need people like Tim with a warm voice. We need, because you know the thing is, all of us have got our stories, haven't we, about being an outsider, or not me, it's not my time, it's not my thing, you know. And so we need our like friends. We need the people who go, yeah, come on, you can have a go.
Yeah.
Which you're doing, aren't you?
I am. Thank you, Kate.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Can we thank Kate? Fabulous Cate Mackenzie. So fun, release, commitment, flirt all the time, and my number's 07974. Right, so it's...